Hey guys, to help run the forums, host the website, and travel, we've introduced a universal service fee for in-depth coverage, including this video. My goal is to be unbiased and transparent. It's a privilege to serve you. This is not an endorsement. Let's get into it. Hey guys, I'm in one of my favorite neighborhoods in Newport Beach, California. Beautiful day for a ride. This is Sean Lupton-Smith from the Electric Bike Company. How's it going, man?
Very well, Court. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited because this is like one of my favorite cruisers. Just the price point, like the quality, the customization options that you guys offer is just incredible, man. When did you guys start again?
We started about 7 years ago.
7 years ago?
Yeah,
and you've really refined things since then. I've reviewed this over here. This is the Model S. There's a full written review on it, but you'll notice that the battery is back here. And this one actually has an 11.6 amp hour battery that can be upgraded to 17.4. I mean, huge range on this thing. With the rack and everything, there's also like a surfboard attachment. It gets kind of crazy, but it's $22.99. Not everyone wants to spend that much. Not everyone has a surfboard or whatever. So for those of us who just want a high quality cruiser, relaxed, comfortable electric bike that's high quality, that's actually assembled in the United States, and a lot of the parts on this, it includes like full stainless steel hardware. A lot of that's done here. Sean has a team of like 12 people. I've toured the shop. I always come away pretty impressed. It's like right here in California, and so, you know, he's paying wages to these young people, and they're having fun. It's really heartwarming. And the end result is this. So this is the Electric Bike Company Model Y. And I kind of remember it like the letter Y. You know, there's this step through right here, 16.5 inch standover height, super approachable. And that's nice, especially if you've got this basket loaded up, 50-pound weight capacity, and it's got the battery right at the base of this. So there's a rubber piece that just sort of dampens the noise and adds a little bit of protection if you've got something delicate in there. But that's the battery right there. You can kind of see it through that steel mesh. Really interesting. You know, my girlfriend is always talking about like bikes and riding to meet her friends. They do like a wine thing on Saturday nights once a month, and it's like she wants to put her food and her wine up there, and this bike is like perfect for her. It's very relaxed with those long steel handlebars that come back to you. You don't have to lean forward. You're not going to strain your back and neck. You can look around and talk to your friends. Maybe one of them is riding along with you. That black one right there, that is the Model X. And it's kind of like the high step version, like, you know, kind of a cantilever, classic style frame. They also make a Model C in that, which is like, again, the big battery on the rear, but same thing, $12.99. So the price point on both of these is excellent. This only comes in white by default, but you can pay a little bit more if you want to, and they have like 24 stock colors, or you can send them in like a Pantone swab or whatever, and they can match it, so you could get this thing just perfectly dialed in, match your outfit or whatever if you're into that. This is where all the paints will be applied perfectly, either for the 24 colors that they have on the website as an option, or custom colors. Can you tell me how this works, Sean?
Yes, you go onto the site and you can actually choose out of 24 different colors, any color that you want your bike to be painted. We paint it that way. If you want something specialized kind of color, you send us in a swab. We'll give you a call and we'll work out the color arrangements from there.
So we've been doing this for probably 10 years now.
Wow.
And we specialize in paint and painting all sorts of bikes. It's pretty common because people see cars that they like the color of,
yep,
and they want that color. So, you know, we can do that for them, make it happen.
So you choose the 20 out of 24 colors, and then the second option is, do you want it matte or do you want it gloss?
Okay, and we were looking at these frames, and I was like, what happens if you get a nick? Like, what do you do?
Touch-up paint. So if you order one of the bikes in the 24 colors that Sean has on the website,
okay,
get touch-up paint. So it's a little bit more complicated to make it perfect, but for the home person, the touch-up paint's going to fill the scratch, and you're going to be able to cover up all those blemishes.
And buff it up, blend it a little bit or something like that?
If you have those skills, you can buff it up, yeah.
Yeah, and you do. I mean, yeah. So what's going on in here in this room?
This is our sanding room. So we do a lot of prepping. So I've got to take paint, strip paint, sand, do repairs. Sort of anything dirty gets done in there. It keeps the dust sort of in there, yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty big space here.
But they all get prepped out here and they get painted in the booth.
And I noticed that you've even got those chain covers, and are you doing the fenders and stuff too? So it all looks...
Do fenders, the chain guards, the frames, forks, and surf racks.
Yeah.
We painted anything else?
Back rack, front rack.
Yeah.
So Vance, you're gonna paint a frame, and I was gonna get to take a look at that. I thought that was really cool. What's your background?
So my background is everything custom. So I've been playing with everything from cars, from say the Fast and Furious franchise to current, doing some projects with Art Williams Jr. You can look him up, guy's amazing artist, right? So my gamut of knowledge is vast. I've been playing with paint and regular and fleet paint for like over 30 years. I mean, so top quality finishes. I brought in paint manufacturers to make sure that all of our bases and our primers and everything are on point.
And Sean was saying that one of the applications here is companies that want to have some branding work done and maybe have a fleet or something.
Oh, right? That's right. If they have their special color of their logo and they want their logo on the frame, we can do that as well for them. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be awesome if you had a gallery someday of like custom bikes, and then people could be like, I want something like that. You know?
I mean, it's insane. It's so niche business type of situation to where if they have anything that they want special, it's Burger King, have it your way.
Fantastic, man. Well, he's gonna hop in there. I'll show you what that looks like.
So there's no contaminants on the bike when we first do it, so we actually take a cleaner and start doing it. Let me turn some stuff on. It's gonna get a little loud.
Here we go. Appreciate that.
It goes a number of colors, and then it gets buffed out, polished, and then whatever the color is. But in the light, it changes color a little bit.
Wow. Well, thank you for taking us behind the scenes. I think that's really cool that you work with these local companies, and there's always like a better process happening when you can be in person like this, when it's kind of local, and 10 years of experience. And I like the white personally because it's so visible. And if you're riding, on a street, there are cars and stuff. We're doing this in a neighborhood street, but cars are passing, and maybe you're out at that wine party or something, and you're coming back home, you want to be seen. So I love that this is highly visible and that they've got this integrated headlight. This is a Blaze Light BL 3002 with 2 LEDs and a nice big reflector. And check out these tires, Schwalbe Fat Frank 26 by 2.35, sort of a balloon style, very comfortable. They match the brown grips, the brown saddle, but they've also got this reflective sidewall stripe right here, so you get 2 big circles when people see you from the side, and that's really, really nice and extra safe sort of a setup. K-Guard 3 puncture protection on that. This is a steel fork, and earlier you heard me mention steel handlebars. That creates some vibration dampening. So when you're riding, steel is strong, it's sturdy, but it's also a little bit less like jarring than aluminum alloy. But the frame itself is aluminum to be relatively lightweight, 57.7 pounds on this bike without the fenders. The fenders cost you a little bit extra. They just had them on this bike, and I thought they looked nice, so we grabbed it for the review. If you opt into these, they've got these nice reflective mud flaps at the end, the rubber, so if you kick it or go off a curb or something, it's just high quality stuff. However, with steel, it's sturdy, it's strong, it's quieter than aluminum and plastic, but if you scratch it, it can get rusty over time a little bit, so you could take some of that clear nail polish, or maybe you've got some white paint or something like that. Something I want to call out and help you guys take good care of these bikes, because they will last. Just really high quality stuff. Internally routed cables, I like that. They look really beautiful. You'll notice there are a lot of connectors up here, but they're bound nicely with this white wire wrap, which matches the bike. I think that's cool. The reason for all the extra wires is because these hydraulic disc brakes have motor inhibitors, and they'll override motor power. So if you ever feel like you're out of control, whether you're in pedal assist mode or throttle mode, you just pull the brakes and the bike's going to stop. And that is excellent. That's very important, especially if you're not riding a whole lot and you're just not as comfortable. This bike is approachable, it's safe, it's high quality, and those disc brakes, look at these levers. It's like 4-finger levers. They got the motor inhibitors, and they've got this ball end, which actually comes from the motorcycle world, where, if you're riding at fast speed and you go down, and, if you run into the end of a sharp brake lever, it could actually poke you, and that wouldn't be good. So they started putting these balls on, and that's just another upgrade. Probably less necessary on a 20-mile-per-hour electric bicycle, but it's something that's nice to see, and that's another little upgrade. We come onto the other side here, 180 millimeter disc brake rotors. We've got the dual piston calipers. These are Tektro Ariga E-Sub. E-Sub is talking about electric bike. So these are e-bike specific components. Same thing back here, 180 millimeters. We've got that extra long, sturdy mass load kickstand. And one of my complaints about this is that if you walk the bike out of your garage or you bump the pedal back, you get the pedal lock. So that's pretty much my only concern about this bike and kind of complaint that I bring up. Aside from maybe no bottle cage bosses, it'd be nice to have them right here, but then the seat sometimes can't slide all the way down. And, you know, I was talking to Sean, he's like, well, we love the beautiful lines on this thing. And frankly, we've got this new cup holder option right here that bolts on. It's pretty sturdy, and you could put your coffee up there or whatever, or, you know, put a bottle in that basket. So there are solutions to this, and, you know, I've got to acknowledge that works out pretty well. It's a good solution. They've also got even more comfort solutions. So I mentioned those sort of balloon tires, extra large saddle, really nice and comfortable. It's got rubber bumpers underneath. They have optional suspension seat post upgrades. This is 30.4 millimeters if you want to get something yourself. And then up here, adjustable angle stems. So even though the bike only comes in one frame size, there's a lot of adjustability. And with those long bars, it's a pretty comfortable bike. If you do opt for a suspension seat post, note that it raises that minimum saddle height by a few inches, depending on which one you get. And this is already close to like 33-inch standover height, so you can easily handle the bike, most people, right here. And then when you start to get up on the saddle, you might be on your tippy toes, and that's how a lot of electric bikes and bikes in general are. Just keep that in mind if you're thinking about that upgrade, because it's going to raise it even higher, and you might start to feel a little bit unstable. I mentioned the headlight. We've also got this rear light, smart. It's like 3 LEDs. It's pretty bright, and it's visible from the sides. And, you know, if you're even kind of in line with the bike, they raised it so you can see it over the fender. Maybe down here it starts to get blocked, but most people are going to be up here in a car or a bike, and they're going to see you, and that's really nice. You don't have to worry about blocking it with a rear rack or anything, although the final version of this, it's supposed to have rear rack bosses, so you can add your own rack. If you do, just think about moving that light. They do have like an extender package, I'm told. Just very nice that it's all run off that same battery pack. 48 volts, 10.5 amp hours. So we're talking about, you know, 500 watt hours. Pretty great. You know, range on this should be pretty decent. You're not going overboard with the weight. The only complaint I have about the battery design here is that it's really not removable, right? A lot of batteries, including that black one over there, on the Model X, see, it kind of slides off, and you can take this inside and you can store it away from the bike. It's going to reduce the weight of the bike by like 6 pounds or something, maybe easier to pick up and put on bike racks. But the biggest concern is that if it's a hot day and you have to park this in the garage, and it's even hotter in the garage, then that's sort of tough on those lithium ion cells. Can degrade them over time. Okay, so extreme heat, extreme cold, you might figure out how to put that in your, maybe in like a utility room or somewhere. Just it's not the end of the world. It should still be okay, but ideally these batteries would be kept at 20 to 80% full in a cool, dry environment. They do have an on-off switch here, which is nice, sort of an override, so the display can, basically no one will tamper with that, although the switch is fairly obvious in that position. And then we have a charging port right here, and that's how you charge the battery. It's all pretty well protected, and that basket is frame mounted, so when you steer the bike, it doesn't actually steer the basket, and the basket's not going to tip out. You can imagine if your basket's hooked to your handlebars, it just sort of dumps. It makes the whole bike feel less stable. I also feel like it gives this a sturdier, like, ride feel. Step-through bikes can feel a little bit like flexier, frame flex. So if I take a hold of the handlebars like this and I shake it, you know, it's actually doing pretty well because we don't have that rear rack. When we were looking at the Model S the other day and I shook it, you could definitely see the rear sort of wagging its tail, and it's because of that big rear rack and the battery back there. So in so many ways, this bike is, you know, it's really well balanced. It feels stiff, it feels sturdy, it's beautiful, and it's got high-end components. I'm gonna hit a few more of those right now. It's a single speed. We've got, I think, an 18-tooth sprocket in the rear, 56 teeth up front, aluminum alloy chainring. They chose single speed because it's simple, and we've got such a powerful motor here. This is a 500-watt MXUS planetary geared hub motor that peaks out around 1,000 watts. This is a 20 amp controller versus 26 amps over there on the Model S. So again, powerful, more range, more utility. And then this one, still very powerful, 20 mile per hour top speed versus 28. Single speed drivetrain. It's not going to fall off and get derailed. You're not going to have to worry about a shifter, and it just keeps the thing cleaner. However, there's no shifter here. There is the motor power cable, right? And if the bike tips over, that's protruding a little bit. The pedal's probably going to stop it, but just be careful with that. You don't get it snagged or bend and break it, because then the motor is not going to be working for you. Nice 13 gauge black or silver spokes, and that's one of the things they do really well here is they actually have this big facility where they spoke the wheels themselves, and they build these things custom for you. They'll do the paint and everything. They'll give you those accessories if you ask for it. There's like a coil lock. They've got that cup holder that I was talking about. There's like a little flick belt. So many options, and they also have extra motors and stuff. So over time, I feel like you're going to get good support with this company. 2-year comprehensive warranty on this, 5 years on the motor and frame. Is it 5 years on the motor and frame?
10 years on the motor and the frame.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Doubled up.
Yes. Yeah.
But 2 years for the battery even
Yes, yeah.
is pretty fantastic.
Yes, yeah.
And you guys do pretty good volume. So it's like, sometimes you look at a company and you're like, oh, maybe I haven't heard of them. I would consider the electric bike company to be kind of boutique, but you do actually have a kind of a showroom here. People can come and buy it straight from you if they're in the SoCal area.
Yes, if they're local, they can come to our factory, and it's actually quite nice for them. They can actually see how we put the bike together, how we've got all the parts out there, how we put the wheel together, how they can choose all the different colors.
I did a tour, you know, we were reviewing the model, which is like the high step, like full-on bike with the rear rack style battery. And we got to go inside and see the spoke machine and meet some of the people. So, okay, guys, we got back to the headquarters. I thought I'd show you this place. It's a really cool truck, and then a bunch of bikes that people can demo ride, or maybe they're here to get some accessories or purchased. I don't really know, but you can see how they've got like the like kind of a rear basket option and the suspension seat post. That one has a mirror on it. Lots of cool options with these bikes. And I rode back on the high step, and I noticed it was a little quieter. Right, like this basket, it jingles around just a little bit. The fenders are pretty quiet. The chain's not bouncing around because it's single speed, but that's one of the trade-offs with you know, the Model Y versus the Model X. I did notice, you know, when you look at the 20 amp controller, 500 watt motor, it peaks out at 1,000 versus, you know, this one, it's like 26 amp controller, peaks out at 1,200, and it's punchier. It's definitely punchier if you're someone who's a little bit bigger, especially because this is just a single speed. Like, you can't really downshift to help you climb. I think the gearing that they chose is really good because you don't want to be struggling to keep up at high speeds, and 20 is the top speed on this bike. But just kind of as it's set up, it works fine, and you know, the basket is a pretty good utility option. The frame flex thing is much less noticeable coming back to the battery position. Again, just I ride on these bikes, I like to get that feel, and I want to express that to you, and then take you on a quick tour here. So I'm with Sean, and I'm just gonna jump right in. Like, check this place out. You can see all the frames, the different colors hanging from the ceiling. Really well organized. It's beautiful, and these are more bikes that they're working on. There's the surfboard attachment. You can kind of see it. This one's totally kitted out. This is like the safari bike here with the basket and the surfboard rack. Amazing to see a full-size board on that thing. Just looks like a blast. They're working on a couple other projects. Here's some of the rims and stuff prepped. There we go. This is the other one that I was reviewing the other day, the Model C. It's the high step with the more powerful motor and battery option there. Some of the shop employees. How's it going, Alex?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. A bunch of parts and stuff. This is where they do all the support. Can I go in there?
Yes, please.
They're doing wow. Hey, sorry, Jack. Hey, Josh. Oh boy, getting a little crazy. I just wanted to peek in here and show you guys what this looks like. I guess they do the spoking right over here, and then they put it through this, and it's got like some lasers and stuff, and it lines everything up. So that is so cool. Why did you choose to, I mean, this is an expensive machine here. Why spokes? Why is that important?
Yeah, you know, because we're actually selling 2 wheels, and we wanted to make sure those wheels were perfectly trued, perfectly balanced, making sure that everything had stainless, rust-resistant hardware. We wanted to have integrated bearings. We wanted to be in control of that quality. So now we build all our wheels here.
Wow, and I mean, that's impressive. And it's also fun just to see that they have color options for their rims. When you get like a custom paint job, can you also get the paint on the rims?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Okay. Well, this is sweet, man. Thanks for the quick tour.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should see while we're in here?
Well, that's just that we got all the different parts for every bike. Every single part gets inspected before it gets onto the bike. It then gets built and then gets inspected here. Wow. And then we do a test run. So it goes through all that. So when you get it fully assembled to your door, and it's in perfect nick.
Is Josh the one that does the test rides? Because he was looking pretty crazy out there. Yeah?
Yeah, I do the final inspections on the bikes before they go out. Test ride and make sure everything's good before we send them.
Well, and I should say the shipping on these, how much is it, Sean?
It's $229 to a residence and $149 fully assembled to a business.
Okay, and that's an important thing because these are basically ready to ride. Sometimes, I mean, look, you're paying a little extra for the shipping, so they're, you know, it is one of those situations where you want the fenders a little bit extra. You want the, they have this like alarm system thing. They have the, even the bell and stuff. There are little things that are extra, but there's quite a lot of value just right out of the box. And then when you're able to get that without having to do a bunch of work and assembly, that's nice because it's, not everyone has the tools and, you know, yeah, so thank you very much. Yes. Good to see.
Pleasure.
Another area where they stepped it up is they give you a 3 amp controller. This one says 5 amp because it's basically the same physical design, and this was convenient, but it has that metal end piece, so it's not going to break quite as easily. Weighs about 1.8 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier, but it's an aluminum alloy case. It's got a fan, and with a 3 amp charger, I mean, you'll be out on this thing after just 3.5 hours, even if you completely deplete that battery pack. So, you know, a lot of times I'll just toss that in the front basket. Maybe, you know, it depends, don't even need it depending on how far you're going. I feel like you could at least get 20 miles, even at the highest level of assist, even with the throttle full time. So that's awesome. I was going to jump into the display, but I want to give you a chance to call out anything that I might have missed.
I think you did really well there, Coach. Yeah, just an overall more simple design than it is with the Model C or the Model S. But yeah, just affordable price, but high quality components.
Yeah, $12.99.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's, to me, that's pretty phenomenal for a bike that is like more than most companies I check with. It's really built in America, and if that's important to you, and if the quality and some of this other stuff, to me, I'm kind of blown away. It's a really good price. So we got the battery charged. It's powered on over there on the toggle switch. We've got this nice, it's like 3.5 inch display. It does swivel a little bit if you don't over tighten it, but it's not removable. So over time with the sun and the rain, you know, it could get, you know, banged up a little bit, but it's protected really well by this basket and these big handlebars. So it's probably not going to get scratched or, you know, beaten up too much compared to the little ones, the little displays. And it's so easy to see. And there's a little USB charging port built into the bottom, a full-size Type A. I have actually plugged my iPhone into it, and it worked. So that's why they have the phone mount that I was talking about. So you could use it for GPS or maybe have some music, put a little stereo up there. They have a Bluetooth speaker option that you can grab. I mean, they have kind of everything here. So there's the display. You press the power button for a second, and if I wanted to, this is when you'd have to get into the settings area by holding up and down. It only works for the first second or two after you power the bike on. I'm going to show you that later. So right now I'm just booting up the menus. This is standard menu, 4-bar battery infographic. For me, I wish it was 10 or maybe a percentage, because 4 bars, it's like 25% steps, and then the surrounding image starts to blink when you're really low. Again, try not to get down to 0. That's hard on the battery. So again, it's not as precise as I'd like, but it gets the job done. We got like a timer over there. Assist level 1 is where it starts, and the throttle is hot, but it's limited by the assist level you choose. And you can actually turn off pedal assist if you want to. That's one of the unique things about this display. So if I hold the down arrow, see, so it says assist. So now pedal assist is going to be active, and they've got this nice sealed 12 magnet sensor. That's a great upgrade. It used to have one that was like a big plastic thing with the magnets physically visible, and it was like on this side, and so it's nice to see. Little upgrade. Go all the way up to level 5 if we want full power on the throttle and the highest level of assist to get that 32 kilometer, 20 mile per hour max speed. I asked them, I was like, sometimes I want the full throttle all the time. They said, we can do that. And they got into it by doing the settings, by holding up and down when the bike was booting up. And then they went through the menus, and then they held up and down again, through the menus, up and down again. And they got to like some really deep, I mean, there's very configurable, and they have some documentation at the website, and they also have some team members who will help you. I tested that because it's important to me, and I can confirm that it does work. We've got current speed in miles per hour, but again, the settings would let you change that. Motor power in watts, distance, and then the ambient temperature, 87 degrees Fahrenheit. If I press that power button in the center, it'll cycle through, and I'll get like average speed and trip timer, and then odometer, and then voltage and max speed. So it's kind of got everything that you'd come to expect. It's grayscale, it's a backlit display, and you can make it backlit by holding the up arrow and looking for that little light icon. If I pull either one of these brake levers, you'll see that other icon, that circle. That means that's a motor inhibitor going on. So here we go. See that backlight is really nice. Got the 3 little LEDs going on. Up front, we've got the 2 LED big reflective surface. However, when I steer, it's not going to point where I steer because it is basket mounted. So again, that's another one of the gripes. they're always trade-offs. I'm trying to do my best here of like giving you the full story, but the decisions they made here are just awesome. And the fact that it is so visible with those nice tires and everything, I really feel comfortable on this bike, and it's powerful. I mean, it really gets you going. And they all the way down to, like, again, the thicker spokes and stuff, but the slightly wider rims. These aren't just generic cheapy rims. They're nice. Like, see it, it's really, really beautiful. And then over here we've got black rims. You know, it kind of matches the black bike, black spokes. They've just gone all the way. And this bike's slightly different, not having a basket. Again, they mounted the light to the head tube, which is nice. It's like very sturdy position, but it doesn't point where you steer. This one has a down tube mounted battery pack. Okay, and in a way, you know, again, no fenders. That's one of the options that you'd pay a little bit extra for to upgrade there. But this might be appealing if you want that stiffer frame feel. And maybe just black is your color. This one comes in black by default, right?
Yes, called black, and then you pay a little extra if you want any other color that you like.
Okay, guys, we're getting ready to take off. The trigger throttle works in any of the 5 levels of assist, but in order for pedal assist to go, you need to hold that down arrow and then make sure it says assist right there. So Sean's gonna take off. I'm on the first level of assist because it's kind of pleasant, and it's not quite as like, you know, sometimes when you're in a chill neighborhood, you just take your time, take it easy. So let's do it, dude.
All right.
There we go. It's like, for me, it's like, it feels really slow. This is just 5 miles per hour. Motor's really quiet. We're gonna get good range here because we're not like zipping out of control. And then if I wanna go faster, I'm just gonna switch my hands up, arrow up a little bit more. Very nice, feeling just really smooth and responsive. Now I'm gonna take it up to 5 so you can really hear that motor and see it, how quick it responds. Very good. So that's 12 magnet sensor, sealed. It's gonna be durable. Wow, look at this view. Love this, Sean. That's the ocean out there, guys. Brake test. Nice. That's just with my front brake lever. It's good stuff. How much do you weigh, buddy?
Oh, a lot. 280.
280. He's a big guy, so you know it's kind of fun to see how well these things can perform, even if you're a little bit bigger. Let's switch bikes here. I'd like to see that step through going on. It might take a minute to raise that seat. You know, having this bike come in a couple of different, that's good for me, Sean. Thank you. You could definitely get this in like a black or something like that if white isn't your color. And I know a lot of guys that kind of attracted to those step-through bikes if you've got like a knee or hip issues, and I've experienced that myself in the past, so I kind of enjoy those, especially if, remember, see, there they are. You got the rack bosses on this one, so if you had a rear rack and you're trying to swing your leg over and you're gonna hit your shin or something, the step-through is a way to get around that. There we go. Oh, Sean didn't have pedal assist turned on, so I'm just going to activate that. Here we go. Feeling good. There we go. Such a beautiful area. Nice park and everything. Can you show me a brake test?
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's braking right. He's not skidding out. Dude, rock on.
Yeah.
Had a good time checking this out. You guys, for the full written review on this is the Electric Bike Company Model Y. I've got the width, the length, the standover height, the weight of all the accessories and stuff, so you can kind of do the math if you want to. I'll see you back at electricbikereview.com. There's also a comparison tool there, so you can put this back to back with the Model S if you're not sure. I know I want the step through, but do I want all the accessories? I got you covered. Have fun out there. Ride safe. Love you guys. We'll see you next time.